Uh, all right. For my second pick, I'm going with the Houston Texans, -3 against Tampa Bay. I actually got this line when it first came out at -1, wrote it up on Action Network. This is not a spot where I usually take the Texans. Generally don't have that much success against as favorites, I should say, because Bill O'Brien and that team just tends to play down to the competition. But Tampa Bay continuing to lose offensive pieces. And I think that in this spot, you have a Texans team that can put a lot of pressure on the Tampa Bay defense. It's been better against the pass, 15th in DVOA, but they struggle. Their perimeter corners have been better. Jamal Dean, Carlton Davis, both top 35 in Pro Football Focus's coverage grades. Sean Murphy Bunting in the slot outside the top 60. They also rank 30th in deep pass efficiency, schedule adjusted from Football Outsiders. So Houston, all three of their receivers play in the slot at least 30%. Now that they have Will Fuller back, they should be able to kind of win if this game goes to a shootout type script, they should be able to win in that environment. And at the same time, you have Jameis Winston. Chris Godwin, I think, hurts even more than Mike Evans, because Winston, for as good as Evans' numbers were, Winston was completing only 56% to him, and his interception rate was above his normal average with Evans. He threw, I think it was 7 picks when targeting Evans. So a lot more efficient to Godwin, 72%, interception rate lower. So I think that's a big loss, especially with both of them now combined. Eventually, I think it's going to catch up with them having to throw to Brashad Perriman and all these guys. I do like O.J. Howard, but, all these guys, I just think Houston has the advantage on offense, short spread. I think Houston has enough here, but did get it at 1. Like it at 3 is fine, but I wouldn't go above 3. I'm still, you never know what's going to happen with the Texans under Bill O'Brien. So a field goal is my limit.
Yeah, I mean, this line is sort of odd. If you think about it, the Bucs without Godwin and Evans, it opened at 1. If they win this game, I believe they win the division. Because even if the Titans win this week and then win next week against the Texans and they tie, the Texans will have the tiebreaker. Don't quote me on that, but I'm 99% sure. So the Texans will obviously, they're motivated regardless. And then if the Chiefs drop 1, they can improve their seeding, blah, blah, blah. So, but what I keep coming down to is, Jameis Winston is red hot. And last week against the Lions, it didn't matter who was in there at receiver. But this week, who's going to be in there? He's going to be throwing to his backs, his tight ends. That spells trouble if you're Jameis. But then what I keep coming back to here, from an X's and O's perspective, the play is Houston. The motivation, the matchups, the better offense, the more talented team with Godwin and Evans out. And even Scotty Miller. We got to give our shout out to our boy Scotty Miller. I knew he was going to score a touchdown when we trashed him last week.
The top 3. It hurts.
So
3 of the top 4, I should say.
And but what I keep coming back to is it's just what you said before. Is this a classic Bill O'Brien slop fest where they come out and they're underprepared? And if you come out underprepared and, just sloppy, take it for granted, you're going to lose in the NFL. It doesn't matter who you play. And like if you go back to some of these games that Houston has had this year, just look a couple weeks ago. What were they down 30-0 to Drew Lock at home about the half or something? So they have these games where, and it's on the coaching staff. I feel like it's one of the lowest rated coaching staffs in the NFL, in my opinion, where they just aren't prepared at all. And they just come out and everything is flat and it doesn't look like they game plan. So that's the only concern here. You would hope that that's not the case playing for the division week 16 in Tampa. And Jameis may give them the game anyway, trying to force with, no weapons. But he is red hot. The Bucs are red hot. But yeah, I can't argue with you there.